So, good morning or good afternoon based on where you are, everyone, and thank you for being here today. So, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Katerina, and I am the sales representative of Hoteliga. So, this webinar is going to be hosted by me and my colleague Vicky. She is the sales executive of Hoteliga, and together we will show you some of the features that can help you manage your properties. Now, for those of you who don't know us yet, hoteliga was born in 2014, and since then we have grown a lot over the years. Hoteliga is a PMS in the cloud system, which allows you to manage the operations of your hotel from wherever you are. It is a complete and simple system that covers all the hotel's needs. It is a 3-in-1 with its own PMS, booking engine, and channel manager. Now, as long as you have access to the internet, you can log into your Hoteliga account from wherever you are and from any device or browser you wish. You have the ability to be aware of what is happening to your property or even make any necessary actions to make sure your customers are satisfied and that your property is up and running perfectly. Now, please feel free to write any questions that might come up to the chat, as there will be a Q&A session in the end. So, without any further ado, I would like to introduce Vicky, who will start the presentation of the PMS.
Thank you for the introduction, Katerina, and thank you everyone for joining today in our webinars. So as Katerina said, I'm Vicky and we're gonna start the presentation. I'm gonna share my screen now. And we're gonna start from the PMS. The PMS is our basic system, which actually is the main place where you have everything, all the information about your property. So, Katerina, if you could confirm that you can see my screen, it would be great.
I can, Vicky, yes.
Okay. So, as Katerina said, it's a 3-in-1 solution. So we also have our own channel manager and booking engine, but we're going to start from the PMS. This is the homepage of the PMS. So once you log into your Hoteliga account, you can come here to this page, which is an overview of the day of today. So here you can see on your left side all the arrivals that you have, and here on the right side all the departures that you have for today. This is a very good overview, as you can have a big picture, and here below you can see the customers that they are now staying in one of the rooms. For each reservation, you can have a small summary here. Besides the name of the customer, you can also see the channel, if the reservation arrived from a channel through the channel manager, the country of the guest, and all the basic details of the reservation. You can also do the check-in from here. And also, I would like to mention something that is very important. We don't have here an example, but we do have here. So here next to this, the name of the customer, we can see a small briefcase. This is a very useful tool that Hoteliga has, which is actually to create some customer categories and allocate the customers accordingly. This is very helpful because in this way, because this icon also is being displayed here, in this way you can welcome the customers appropriately. But as we're going to see later, this is very useful because you can create offers to approach specific customers. For example, it can be loyal customers, it can be families, business people, or whoever your target group is. From the shortcuts, let's move on to the calendar, which is actually the main and daily tool that you use. So here, this account is a hotel account. So here on the left, you have your room types. You can have a color for each room type. And here you have your rooms listed the way you have them in the property, either with numbers or with names. It's a good time to mention here that Hoteliga is a very customizable system. This means that either you have a hotel or another kind of property like hostels, campings, apartments, villas. Your Hoteliga account can be adjusted according to your needs. Here we see the reservations. I have chosen to see the reservations here based on the status. And in this case, we can select our own colors. So I have selected the gray color for the ones that they have been checked out, the green color for the checked-in reservations, and the purple for the future reservation. You can also select to see the reservations based on the payment status or on the agency. But let me mention here that for the agency, you can also see the logo of its agency here next to the customer's name. So let's see what we can do here from this page. If we click once on the reservation, you can have here from the toolbar access to all the actions you can do for this specific reservation. If you select multiple reservations, you can group them or ungroup them. But if you do group them, you can manage them at once all together. You can also split a reservation, copy it, lock it, delete it, or change the status also from here. So basically here you have access to all the management tools of the reservations. But if we click twice on the reservation, we actually access the reservation window. Here, this reservation is a good example because it's supposed to arrive from a channel. So we're gonna also to start talking about the channel manager. Here in the basic data, you have all the basic information for this reservation. And here we can see that this reservation arrived from Airbnb. If here there was no agency selected, here you have a list with all your reservation sources. Reservation sources are actually the offline ways that you can get a reservation from. All the lists that you see here in Hoteliga are fully customizable, so you can have your own lists based on your property information, of course. Here you have all the information again regarding the dates, the room type, and the board. And here you see the normal price. The normal price is actually the price that is automatically pre-filled based on all the fields that are above, and it's been retrieved from your price list. However, in the agreed price, you might see a different amount, for example, 1,300, because your guest got a 13% discount. We're gonna go into that in more detail. And let me save the reservation. As this reservation is supposed to arrive from Airbnb, here that it says not from channel, all the information from Airbnb will be displayed here in this gray box. And also the commission will be mentioned and the reason why the guest took this discount. For example, in case of booking.com, this discount might be a result of a Genius member or because he booked through the mobile app. While this notes field is for you to write whatever information you need for this reservation. Now, let's go. Here we have many options, and actually you can customize the ones you wish to see here, but we're going to mention some of them, the ones that are very important. So let's start from the customer tab, and here you have all the details of your customer. Here it's also the categories that I spoke to you before about. And if I click billing info, in case you need to have the billing info of your guest, you can put them here. Then another very important tool is the messages tool. This is a functionality that works for Booking and Airbnb, and it's going to save you a lot of time. All the messages that you receive inside the extranet chat can appear here, and you can also see the history from here, and you can give an answer to your guest. So this is very convenient because you can not only have this consistency in replying to your guest, but you can also be always aware about your customers' needs. While if I move to email, this functionality is for you to have your own email templates. You can have as many as you want and in as many languages as you wish, because you might have loyal customers or frequent customers from different parts of the world, right? So let's start with an example, the thank you mail. So I can make it bigger from here. And this is a draft. Of course, you can customize it the way you want. And it works like a normal email. This means you can add photos, you can add links, and you can edit it before sending it to your guest. This tool will help you keep a consistent communication with your guest. Another very important thing is that you can ask for your guests any information or feedback you want. For example, in the thank you mail, you can also include the link of your TripAdvisor page or of whichever other review site you wish. So you can encourage your guests to leave you a review. However, in order to keep this communication more consistent, you can actually automate this process. So you can say, for example, in the system, in the settings, that I would like the thank you mail to be sent automatically 3 hours after the checkout. So you won't have to worry about this, and the guest will receive that email. You can also receive all the copies, any copies of all the emails you can send to the guests in an email that you can choose. So you can have actually, you can have a history of what emails you have sent from your property. Let's move on to extras, and this is something very important. In order to satisfy our customers, we do offer products, we do offer complementary services, and we try to actually adapt to their needs. In the extras tab, we can have a list with all the products or services. It can be both of them here in the list, all the services that you do offer to your guests, and you can have a price here. So for example, let's say that someone got a beer, you can actually save this extra charge, so you know what actually your guest bought or consumed. And you can also see which services and products that you do offer are very popular to your guests. Let's move on to the invoicing functionality now. Before going there, I would like to tell you, as I said before, that as hoteliga can be adjusted to your needs for the invoicing process, any taxes you have and any taxation system you use, we can adjust your needs here in the settings of your hoteliga account. So this is an example for an account that on top of the total price of the reservation, we add a tourism tax, but it can be adjusted, as I said before, the way actually the legislations and the taxation are valid in your country. If we go here to the cost breakdown, we can see the total amount of the reservation. Here we can see the extra charges that actually I just added before. And here we can see the taxes that are included, that are on top of the price. If the taxes are included in the price, then you won't see them there, but you can see them analytically in the invoice. If I move down, I see the balance, and I also see the cost per night. So here you can also have an overview in case your guests had different prices per night, or he actually changed room. The whole process of invoicing starts with payments. So this is not an exactly mandatory step, but this is something we strongly suggest to insert here any payments that you receive from your guests. Even if they're down payments or they're full payments, it's good to insert them here, because in this way you can have a very good picture of any balances your customers have. So if I click new payment, the only thing I need to do is to actually put the payment method that I received the payment from, and also the amount of the payment. Of course, this list is also customizable, and let's imagine that actually this guest paid the full amount to us. So I click save. If I go back to the cost breakdown, now I can see that the balance has been 0. So I can now proceed to invoice. The only thing I need to do is come here and click final invoice. In the template, again, here we work with templates, so you can have as many templates as you want. So let me put this info. Here in the field notes, you can add an extra comment or an extra note on the invoice. And here you can have a preview, so you can be sure before actually issuing the invoice that all the information are correct. So once you check it, you can just click here, issue, and the invoice is issued, and you can print it and give it to the guest directly. Or if you want to save paper, you can just send it to him by email. You can also save it as a PDF or an Excel if you have also to have a copy downloaded in your computer. So actually, these are the most basic tabs out of the reservation window. Of course, here, just briefly to mention, you can see all the invoices issued for this specific reservation. You can have a planned payments. Here, this is a very good tool if you work with down payments. So you can register them here, and then there is a specific report that you can check which payments you're waiting for from your guests during the next period that you can select. And let me close from here and go back to the PMS calendar. So here, what I would like to mention is that this calendar actually includes all your reservations. Either you inserted them manually, or either they came from a channel or from your booking engine. This is the calendar that all the connected channels through the channel manager read in real time, and the calendar is being updated. So for example, once you get a reservation from booking.com, let's go to this example, Freight Regina. When you got this reservation from booking.com, you firstly got notified with an email from our side, with a message in the homepage, but also with a notification here in the ring bell that you did receive a reservation from booking.com. The reservation went directly here in the calendar if you wish to, which is something that we do actually suggest. And all the other connected channels, but also the booking engine, are updated in real time that this room for this specific date has no availability because this reservation arrived. With the same ways, as I said before, you get notified if you receive an update from this reservation, because my friend Regina went to booking.com and she updated the reservation, or in case of a cancellation. But let me tell you that in case of a cancellation, the reservation will disappear in real time from the calendar, so you don't miss any chance receiving a new reservation, while the system will notify you about any cancellation fees that the customer needs to pay based on your cancellation policy. So this was a small introduction to the channel manager. We're going to go into it in more detail a bit later. But I would firstly like to finish with all the important functionalities that the PMS has. So another important functionality that can help you keep up with the daily operations of the property is the housekeeping tool. There are two ways to manage our housekeeping tasks. The first one requires that your housekeeping staff has a smartphone or has maybe a tablet that you have in the property, and they can update the housekeeping status of each room in real time. To better describe to you that, here next to each room, we can now see a bin. This bin means that all the rooms are actually need to be cleaned. So if I go options and if I go tools, the housekeeping staff can have access only to the pages that we will see now. So basically they can log in with their own passwords and they can just see this page where all the housekeeping tasks are being displayed. So for example, let's say that they need to change the linen to the room 104. Once they start cleaning 104, they click once. Sorry for this language. It was being created in a different language rather than English. So once they start cleaning this room, they can click once on it. And you're actually updated in real time that the housekeeping staff is inside room 104 and they're cleaning the room. Because here in the calendar, next to the room 104, we can see groom. Let it load it first so we can see how it looks. It's just here. Once the housekeeping staff finish with the cleaning of this specific room, they can go back to their page, click once more on this task, which is going to become green. And you can also be updated about the room being ready, because you can see here the sun next to the room. Now we also, for the housekeeping tasks, support the more traditional way, which is from a report. So if I go here, options, and then reports, I access all the reports that Hoteliga has to offer, which is going to be like more than 130 reports. To better describe you the environment that we look at, here in the beginning, you can have your 10 favorite reports for a quicker access, because these reports might be the ones that you actually use more frequently. And the rest is divided into categories. So you can have reports about your reservations, your payments, customers, sales, etc. So here, the report for the housekeeping tasks is the report number 18. What I'm going to tell you now actually is for every report. So in Hoteliga, if you click in this button to open that report, here you can select the period that the system can give you data for. So it can be either a past period to see your statistics, or it can be a future period to see your predictions. And this is something very important. So also you can see all the reports for all the rooms your property has, or it can be, as I said before, camping slots, apartments, or whatever your property actually, the kind of your property is. Or you can see the report for a specific room if you wish to. So let's see how this report looks like. Of course, all the reports, you can either see them in the screen or print them and give them to the housekeeping staff, or download them as an Excel or a PDF. So here we have two tables. The one is for the complete cleanings. It's actually for all the departures. If there is an arrival for today, you can see them here. So the housekeeping staff can prioritize those tasks. And then below you have the parcel cleaning tasks. All those tasks are being displayed here based on the settings you have done. So you can create as many housekeeping tasks as you wish, and you can select if you want them to be generated during the check-in, the check-out of a reservation, or the repetition you wish to give them. So for example, you can say that I would like to change the linen every 3 days, for example, and they will all automatically being displayed there. So for the reports, we have many useful reports, either for your daily operations. So for example, you have reports here to see your arrivals for today, or your payments that you received today, or the balances of the customers that you have. But also we do have some reports that will facilitate the strategic planning you wish to do for your property. For example, I will show you one, but of course, if you wish to see any other report or any other information, as Katerina said before, please feel free to write it in the chat so I can show you how you can see this information in a hoteliga report. So why I chose this report, this is not a detailed one for occupancy. We have a more detailed one. This is a brief one, but this, because sometimes we can be very busy and we want to have a big overview very quickly for our property. So here we can select a period. I will just select a random period for a month, and we can select to see it in the screen. I have closed some room types, so that's why you see them in black. But here you can see on a daily basis, actually, the occupancy each room type had. Why this report is good? Because it has colors that actually illustrate the occupancy that you had on this specific date in your property. With a quick overview, you can see, for example, that this room type has a very high occupancy for actually the majority of the days of the month, while this room type keeps to be empty for the whole month. So maybe you can consider either changing your prices or creating some promos to also promote the rooms that needs their occupancy to be increased. I would also like to mention another report, because actually in our days there has been a big topic about the channels and the agency, and which are the more efficient OTAs that we need to use. So here, let me just type quickly some the basic fields so we can see the report. Again, I select a random period, and we can select to see them in the screen. So this is very important, because we always want to see where our reservations came from, and also which of the agency, either it's a tour operator or it's an online travel agency, are efficient for our business. So here, for example, you also have this the diagram, and you also have all this information analytically being displayed on the table below. So you can actually go into conclusions, and you might say that, for example, maybe Expedia or another online travel agency might not be that efficient as booking.com, or you can also compare your reservation based on your last year's data. And this is something very important because we need to monitor, because it's a very dynamic industry. Actually, we have come to an end with the PMS functionalities. These were the bigger and the daily functionalities that you can use. And another thing that I would like to mention before going into the channel manager is that the PMS has also a CRM. So you have everything in your hoteliga PMS account, and you don't need any other additional files, systems. You have everything here. And also this is very important, because if you have one question for any parts of the system, either it has to be with invoicing or for the channel manager or for the booking engine, or if you want to know more information, you actually contact one provider. If I come here, options, and go to customers, I can have here access to all the CRM, all my customers that have been saved here in my hoteliga account. If I click on a customer, of course, I can see with a quick overview that it's belonged to the loyal customers. I can see here all his details and the billing details, and I can see all the reservations that this customer has done in my property. And this is very important because I can also access one reservation if I would like to. And here you can see the transactions. This is also very important if you want to keep track on the balances of your customers. So if you have any questions regarding the PMS and all the functionalities I have showed you up to now, please feel free to write all your questions in the Q&A chat, and we will get back to them later. For now, we can go to the channel manager. So you don't have to leave from here. You come just here and click options and then channel manager. So if I come here and come to the calendar of the channel manager, let me tell you first that this demo account has been only being connected with booking.com, and that I see here the logo of Booking next to the room types that I have mapped in my hoteliga account. Of course, all the other channels that you have decided to connect, you're gonna see their logos accordingly here, so you can have a big overview that every channel is connected. And you can see also, because maybe some room types are not connected to the same channels as some others. What can I do from the channel manager of hoteliga? So basically, hoteliga with the channel manager has a mutual relationship. This means it's a two-way connection. And once I said before that we can receive all the reservations directly to the hoteliga PMS calendar with all the information for the reservation, but also for the guest pre-filled, so you don't have to put everything manually. You can also send from hoteliga prices, allotment, and restrictions to all the connected channels. And this is very important because if you work with many channels, you don't have to waste time and visit each extranet separately and update all the information and go back to check your prices and then put them again. You can do it from here for all the channels at once. And you can do it for either a specific date. So for example, I would like to change the price for this room type for the 24th of June. So I can just come here and change the price and put the price I want to. But also you can do a bulk update. So if I click here, bulk update, I can massively change either prices, allotment, or restrictions, as I said before, for a bigger period, for a long term, or for a bigger, let's say, amount of days. And I can select here which days I want to include, the room types that I want to be affected. So I have just one here connected, but you can see all the room types or apartments. And I can set here the new price I want to apply. The same thing with restrictions or allotment, of course. For allotment, let me tell you that you can here set your allotment, but also you can close cells if you want. So for example, maybe you want for this amount of time to close sales for this specific room type. So you just put here 0. The same, you can do it for a specific date as I showed you before. So this is how hoteliga channel manager works. It's in real time, and all the information are actually inside your hoteliga PMS account as well. We also have integrations, and this is a good time also to mention our API. So we have our own API, and in this way we can integrate with other systems. For example, and as we are in the channel manager, we have integration with SiteMinder and Room Cloud, and they can be actually connected to your hoteliga PMS. Regarding the API, as I mentioned it before, we have integrations with many different kind of systems. For example, you can integrate an online check-in application or a passport scanner or an online check-in, so you don't waste time checking in the customers and getting all the personal details. And many others, so feel free to ask us about our integrations as well. And I think it's time to go to the booking engine. So, Katerina, you can go to the booking engine.
Thank you, Vicky. So, hoteliga has its own booking engine, so you can get direct bookings from your website without any commissions. Now, it is an independent page, and if you have a website, you can integrate it there by adding a booking button, which can be called a call to action, for example, book now or book here. Additionally, we provide you with a code so you can have a widget in your website where the guests can insert the dates they're interested in and they can be redirected in the booking engine page. So let me start by showing you what the booking engine looks like. So here you can add your photo and it can be in a very good quality, and your logo can have the ability to redirect someone back to your website. Now, the hoteliga booking engine has a great feature, and it is that you can create offers for reservation made from the booking engine and promo codes if you wish to give a discount to a specific person or group of people. Now, for example, you can create discounts either related to their stay or the board they choose. Alternatively, why not give promo codes to customers that stayed in your property, also, or as a reward for customers that chose to stay again, or even give them to new people and attract more customers this way. So once they select the dates, and let's select them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So once they select the dates and they press search, they can see here all the available rooms. Now,
We didn't have availability for those dates, so it's good that we also saw that the system actually notifies you that there is no availability for that dates, so it actually suggests alternatives.
That's great. Thank you, Vicky. Now, also, it's worth mentioning that the availability is updated in real time, like we saw before, as the booking engine reads the PMS calendar the same way as the channel manager works, like Vicky showed before. Now, once they find the room they are interested in, they can click more. And there they can see all the amenities it has and photos of the room. So you have the ability to also include text if you wish to. Now, they can also see all the amenities you have. They have the ability to see the terms and conditions as well. You can have all the information here based on your terms and conditions. And you can also proceed to the next step by pressing book now once you make all the choices you want on the desired room or rooms. Now, here you can see a breakdown. You can have also all the extra services your property offers, and they can book it from there as well. Those can be a massage, a transfer, or any other complimentary services you provide your guests with. Now, here they can see a summary on the right, and they can proceed to the payment. They will add all their personal information. And then once they add the information, they can select the preferred payment method. Now, once I click book, the reservation will come to your hoteliga PMS with all the information the customer added. They will be pre-filled, so you don't have to add anything manually. Moreover, they will automatically receive confirmation email for the reservation they made. Now, I would like to say a few words for the payment methods. Hoteliga supports all traditional payment methods like paying with cash, in arrival or departure, a bank transfer of the full amount, or even a down payment as well. However, we do support integration with many online payment gateways like PayPal, 2Checkout, Braintree, and many others. And also, it is worth mentioning to you that our booking engine does not work with commission per reservation, but it has its own fixed price depending on the subscription package you have. Now, I think that's it with the booking engine as well.
Okay, thank you, Katerina, for also presenting our booking engine. So you can see you have everything in one account. You don't need to have any other systems. Please, Katerina, may I ask you, do we have any questions so far?
Yeah, so let me check the chat real quick.
And because we are going to have the Q&A session, so we can also discuss something in more detail about any functionality you saw before, please feel free. We have like 10 minutes to write any questions or comments you wish in the chat.
Thank you, Vicky. So let me start. I see a few questions here. So let's start. Okay, so a question is regarding if we have a partnership with SiteMinder.
Yes, I believe I replied that already before, but it's good. Maybe you mentioned it before. So yes, we do have an integration with SiteMinder, as I said before, and with the SiteMinder channel manager, but also we do have integration with the SiteMinder application store. And this is very important because if you know the SiteMinder's application store, it has a lot of applications that they can offer to you to actually upgrade the additional services you wish to offer.
Okay, thank you very much, Vicky, for that. So another question is if we work with subscriptions or if it is a one-time purchase.
Okay, we actually do offer a subscription scheme. It's either on a monthly or on an annual basis. And if you wish, we can further discuss about a personalized offer for your property based on your needs. So you can contact us at sales@hoteliga.com. So we can actually arrange a phone meeting or a Zoom meeting to further discuss.
That's great. And one more question we have here. So when a reservation arrives from booking, how are we able to manage it?
Is there anything more specific that whoever made this question wants to know? Because I'm going to give you a reply, but let me know if you need any further information. So basically, as I said before, let me actually share my screen because I think this is going to be easier for you. It's always easier and better if we have something to look at. So if I go here to the calendar of the PMS, as I said before, this is a hoteliga. This is a hotel account. So here we have room types. If your property has apartments or villas or suites, for example, the room type is going to be a unique room type for its specific apartment. Like we see here, the 306 apartment, which is a unique one. So in case you have apartments, the reservation will fall directly on the specific apartment the customer selected. But if we're talking about the room types and you have, for example, 3 rooms under this room type, I'm going to take this room type, the green one, as an example. Here you have 3 rooms. So there is this question where the reservation will go to which room out of the 3 ones. So this is actually up to you. You have 2 options. The one is that the reservation comes to Hoteliga without being allocated to a specific room. And you need to go and allocate the reservation to the room you want based on actually make the best out of your availability. However, we do always suggest the second option, which is the one I mentioned before, that the reservation comes and falls directly to a room based on the availability, but also based on the priority you have set to set your rooms. So when you set up your hoteliga account, you basically select the priority under each room type. So you can say, for example, that I want first the room 102 to be sold, then the 106, and then the 104. So based on this criteria and also the availability, the reservation will fall to one of the rooms accordingly. I wish I helped. If you need anything further, any further clarifications for that, let me know, of course.
That's very useful, Vicky. Thank you. So let me check if there are any more questions. And I think we have a few more minutes if someone wishes to ask anything else. Yeah, so I don't really see any more questions in the chat, but like I said, we have a few more minutes if someone wants to ask us anything.
Until that, it's very good to mention that we do offer the opportunity of having a demo account. This is for free for 2 weeks, and during this time, you can actually not only set up your account, but you can also check our system, explore it, and we can always further discuss about how to customize at the best grade your account to your property. Also, in case of proceeding with hoteliga, this is very helpful because you will, during this time, you will have been familiarized with the system and you would have your account ready, as a trial account can be converted to a customer one. So it's a good opportunity if you want to test our system and we can better explore our possibilities and how we can help you meet your needs. I believe we're okay. As I said before, please feel free to contact us at sales@hoteliga.com and we can have a conversation and an online meeting to help you. It was very nice it was very nice for you joining, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Have a nice day or a nice evening based on the country you are. Bye from our side.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.